Hi, I'm Tracy Sofra and welcome to the Women of Wealth podcast dedicated to empowering women to achieve financial independence and thrive in every area of her life. Have you ever looked at your bank account and asked yourself, where did all the money go? Well, you're not alone. Even with the best intentions, it's easy to fall into spending patterns that quietly chip away at your budget and hold you back from your financial goals. But here's the good news. It's not about deprivation, it's about alignment. And I mean alignment as in aligning your spending with the life you're building, and not the social media one that the social media is trying to sell you, not that life. I'm talking about the real life. So let's talk about 10 things. I'm going to talk about 10 things in this podcast to stop you buying so you can save money. And, you might say, gosh, Trace, 10 things to stop buying. What is this all about? It's not about deprivation. Remember, I told you it's not about depriving. It's about aligning with yourself. And you'd be amazed once I start sharing these 10 things. I've fallen into many of these spending traps myself, and that's how I came up with the 10 things. But once I started to take a closer look at my everyday purchases, and again, it's about intention, right? I realised that trimming just a few habits, a few bits here and a few bits there made so much room for real progress towards my own financial goals and towards saving more. It allowed me to invest consistently and still enjoy life. And, as I always say, while there's life to live, you've got to live it, but you can't, not at the expense of your future self. So what I want to do is I want to dive into these 10 things to stop buying, to save money. And if you truly want to get traction with your financial goals, here's what it's all about. The first thing you want to stop is clothes and shoes for your fantasy life. What does this mean? Well, let's start with the biggest one, right? Buying for the version of yourself who doesn't actually exist. The one who's always going to elegant dinner parties, jet setting to Europe, or living completely different lifestyle. I've shopped for her too, and the truth is those fantasy purchases rarely match your real life. Do you know what I'm talking about here? It's the one that social media sells to you. And, it is a fantasy, rarely is real, and they don't come to move you any closer, all of these purchases, to your goal. It's just this fantasy that you've created in your head. So buy for the life you're living right now, not that fantasy life, and the one you're actually building for yourself over the long term, not the life that exists only in a Pinterest board. Yeah? I see a lot of this happening. And I see it with Gen Z. Everything is about influencers. Everything is about the new fad. Everything is about the Pinterest board. What about the real life that we're all living now? Remember, they're all on your phone. They are edited. They are manipulated. They are designed to sell you things. Step back from that. Don't buy into the rhetoric and live the life that you are living now and buy accordingly for that life. Second thing to stop is viral fashion trends and items. Again, along the same lines, we've all been there, right? Something's trending on TikTok or Instagram, and suddenly it feels like a must-have. But viral items, they often lose their shine quickly, don't they? And fashion trends rarely hold up long term. If you're old enough to know that classic items, good quality items, they stand the test of time. So before you click buy, I wanted you to ask yourself, do I really want this, or am I caught up in the hype? Just pause. It's not going to hurt you. A couple of minutes to say, is this hype or is this real? And remember, trending isn't the same as timeless and rarely aligns with your financial goals. So pausing, asking the question, remembering about your financial goals. If you found yourself falling into too many trends, it might be time for a shopping ban to recalibrate. Dare I say shopping ban? But there are times when you need time out and to recalibrate, to come back to the long-term goal of what you want to achieve, what your financial goals are, aligning that with what you're doing today. And you know what? We all need a reset at some stage. Third thing I want you to consider stopping is, the duplicate beauty products and skincare. Let me ask you something. Open your bathroom drawer. How many half-used serums, eyeshadow palettes, moisturisers are sitting there? You don't need 6 versions of the same product. I find myself saying this to my daughter. Use what you already have before you buy more. And if you still want it after finishing what's in the stash, then go for it. But, this shift alone can help you reduce waste. And, we want to be sustainable and save money. So, protects the planet, protects your future self and your money, and you become more intentional with your shopping and with your shopping decisions. Stop number 4, take out every time you're tired. Are you falling into this trap? I still love a good takeout, right? But when it becomes the default, every time you're tired, you're busy, and you're just not in the mood. And it happens. Life is busy and there's a lot of stresses these days. But doing this and falling into this trap, it adds up fast, right? Even grabbing lunch 3 times a week instead of packing something simple can cost hundreds of dollars over the month. So what's the solution? Well, be intentional with your shopping. Keep 2 to 3 easy go-to meals in your back pocket. Think frozen stir fries. There's pastas with veggies or pre-prepared salad kits. Even saving, money on any of these things and pre-planning. It doesn't have to mean cooking gourmet meals all the time. It just means planning ahead. I generally plan the week ahead, obviously. I map out each day of the week and I work out basically what meal is going to be prepared for that evening, and I allocate my shopping list accordingly. And from there is generally some leftovers that can meet the need for lunch. Happy days, and away we go. And you don't have to think about it. Life's busy. You get home from work, you don't have the brain power to think about what you're going to cook that night. But if you've pre-thought about it over the weekend and you've sort of mapped out a general gist and you've got the ingredients in the fridge, happy days, away you go. Keep it simple, don't overcomplicate. Dinner in 20 minutes, half an hour, and you're done. Stop number 5, subscription boxes you forgot you signed up for. I see this a lot with clients. So skincare, books, wine, clothes, you name it, there's a subscription for all of these. And they seem fun at first, don't they? And they seem like, that's going to solve all my problems. But over time, many of them just become automatic clutter. So, question to ask yourself, am I still using what I get? Or does it go straight to the shelf unopened? I want you to do an audit on your subscriptions and cancel the ones that no longer bring real value. So that anywhere between 30 to 60 a month could be going towards your emergency fund or debt reduction or anything else that you have a long-term goal for, increasing that savings plan, topping up super, whatever it might be. Stop number 6, home decor and storage items before you declutter. So this is really interesting, and this got me thinking. And I did this the last time I went to do a declutter. So buying bins, baskets, acrylic organisers, they feel productive, right? But if you haven't decluttered first, you're just organising clutter, right? Think about that for a minute. Why organise clutter into these box and bins and, all that sort of stuff when you should be chucking out half of that potentially, right? So before you invest in storage, take inventory of what you actually need to keep. Start with the declutter process. Get organised and declutter first. You're not buying organisation, you're buying clarity. You want clarity, right? And clarity also comes with your environment, without a doubt. I mean, on my desk in my private practice, everything is intentional. I can't stand clutter because I can't think and I can't make decisions about my workflow and what needs to happen first when there's stuff all over the place. Everything needs to be organised in an organised fashion, and clutter needs to leave my desk. So you're buying clarity, and clarity allows you to make better decisions in whatever area of your life. And obviously we're talking about your financial life here. And so that starts with owning less, not storing more. Less is more, remember? Stop number 7, books you don't have time to read. I'm a bit guilty about this. I love reading and I love books. And as a lifelong reader, I get the joy of a great book haul, right? Obviously. And my daughter currently works in a bookstore. But unread books still count as clutter. Believe it or not. I hate saying that, but it's true. And buying more books doesn't always mean you're going to read more. Yeah. So make a rule. No new books until you've read what you already own, or better yet, start using your local library if you want to. But, for me, you can use the library. But for me, I love owning books and I love having a bookshelf. Stop number 8, guilt gifts or I'm tired toys for the kids. Now, if you still got young kids, and I remember doing this when my kids were younger, parents, listen, I see you, and the guilt is real. I get that, especially when life gets busy or you're too tired to be fully present. So what do? We buy toys or treats to fill that gap. But when this becomes a habit, it drains your budget and teaches the wrong life lesson or the wrong lesson about love and connection with your kids. So instead, aim for quality time over stuff. A walk, playing games with your kids. My kids used to love playing Uno, reading together. Those moments are what truly matters, and they're the moments that the kids actually remember rather than the toys. Stop number 9, seasonal sale items you don't need. Yeah, it happens, right? The sales trap is sneaky. End of financial year deals. We've been hearing this every end of financial year or Christmas time or, stock take sale. I mean, their job is to get us to spend more money. You've got to understand that, right? So the sales trap is incredibly sneaky. And you think you're saving money, but if you if you wouldn't have bought it in the first place, are you saving money? Like if you wouldn't have bought it at full price, is it still a bargain to you? It's still an unnecessary expense. Just because you're buying it on sale doesn't mean you needed it. So before checking out, here's another question you want to be asking yourself. Would I want this if it weren't on sale? Or am I just buying it because it's cheap? How many times have we done that when we were younger girls? Oh my God, it's 25% off. I've got to buy it. But do you need it? No, but it's so cheap. I just want to buy it. I mean, yeah, I'm just sharing that with you. I've been there, done that. If the answer is no to would I want this if it weren't on sale, then you have to pass. You've got to get rid of that sale mentality out of your head. Sales aren't savings. If the item was never on your list to begin with, it's not a saving. It's another drain. Stop number 10, productivity tools you don't actually use. So that new planner, the new app, that new journal, you tell yourself, this is going to be the thing. This is going to be the final thing that's going to get me on track. But tools don't work unless you use them. And we've all done that, haven't we? We've all been caught in that trap of thinking that's the one thing, being frustrated that you haven't got on top of your budget, that you haven't got on top of your to-do list, that you haven't got on top of whatever you need, and thinking this one thing is now the thing that's going to get you over the line. But you've got to use it. It's got to make sense. And buying a new one won't change that. So stick with one system that works for you and show up consistently. Find that one system and show up consistently. Don't continue to buy things, thinking it's going to be the one. Your progress will come from action, not aesthetics. Yeah? So my message here is it's not about never spending. It's about spending with purpose and intention. You don't have to cut out everything fun or never treat yourself again. I'm totally against that. I'm against that. We talk about, living while there's life, but also being mindful of your future self. We talk about in the Empower program, which has the cash flow analysis, the fun bucket. The fun bucket is about the here and the now, but the investment bucket is about the future self, and the bills bucket is making sure lifestyle needs are met, and then there's no stress around your cash flow. But, so you don't have to cut out, but every dollar you spend is a vote for the future life you're building. Yeah? So ask yourself, is this purchase aligned with my values and goals, or is it just noise? Is it aligning with my values and goals? What's important to me? The more clarity you gain around your money, the more empowered you're going to actually feel with every financial decision you make. So focus on spending according to your values. Your values will always ground you in every decision in your life, but particularly in your financial decisions, what you're valuing. So as an example for me, one of my greatest values is freedom and financial freedom. when I retire, when I stop working. In my early adult life, when I first, went out into the workforce and I was an accountant, I was, living from paycheck to paycheck and maxed out my credit card. That behaviour was not going to get me to what I valued, which was financial freedom. There's a misalignment. So as I mentioned at the start of this is not about, taking everything away from you. It's about aligning what's important to you. And that's about aligning, which is what I'm talking about. So focus on spending according to your values. Every dollar you spend is an opportunity to move further or closer to your goals. Okay? So that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy your money, but it does mean being honest with yourself about what actually matters, what's important to you. When you align your spending with your values, it gets a whole lot easier to stay on track. It's sobering. You just say to yourself, well, hang on, if I do that, is that going to help me get to what I value? No, it's so off track, it's not funny. Well, what am I doing? And it questions you, and that's when you need to pause, take 48 hours out, and then see if you would make that same decision. Make sure to spend smarter to achieve your financial goals. If you want to hit your financial goals, the first step isn't about learning more or earning more. It's about spending smarter. The key is to cut the noise, and there is so much noise, isn't there? And focus on actually what matters to you. And these 10 things to stop buying to save money aren't bad in isolation, right? These 10 things to stop. Isolation individually, they're not bad. But when they become habits, unquestioned and automatic, they can block your progress without a doubt. So take a few minutes, look through your recent transactions and ask yourself, what can I stop buying? Where can I make room for what really matters? So scrutinise every line of that budget. Progress starts with awareness, and awareness is having a budget, right? And you've already taken the first step. That's what it means. If you want help with all of this, if you want to become more aware of your budget, of your spending, of your money mindset, of your financial DNA, the behavior you have around money, where does that come from? And aligning that with your future values and goals to achieve what you want in life, but still live while there's life, then you need to speak to one of our strategists. We can help you with cash flow, investing, with your financial life and achieving your overall goals and helping you to create a secure income in retirement. You simply have to go to wowwomen.com.au, click the link to our programs, and best of all, the call is free. If you found this episode to be helpful, please share it with a friend, leave a review, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And until then, take control of your wealth and your future.